I have been working at this job for 3 years through a temporary service. And for the most part, the job was cool for the most part. But the workers, immature, and it was mostly, well, it was all men, but they acted like boys. And it was crazy. The gossiping and the backbiting and the complaining. And I never understood why people apply for jobs. And these people were permanent. They apply for jobs. They go through the interview process, lie their way through the interview process, and then act like they were forced to work there. That was the jacked up part that I never will understand, that when people come to their job and complain all damn day. I don't understand it. It's too much energy to do that, like when you can just leave. But anyway, I worked there for 3 years, and we had a plant manager that I got along with pretty well, and he actually gave me a raise because of my hard work and because I was dedicated to the job and because I did whatever was asked of me to do. He retired, and they got a new plant manager. Now, as soon as this person showed up, man, he was introducing himself to us. I'm looking and I'm like, something's not right. And you can almost feel it in your gut. Like, especially if you're an empath, you know something's not right. And this person is talking about all of the good jobs that they had and basically their work history. And I'm thinking, and all of these jobs were really high paying jobs. And I kept thinking, well, why the hell are you here? I couldn't, and I knew something's wrong. If you went you all of these good jobs and then you land up here, it doesn't add up. So I go through the process of filling out an application as far as putting my ring in the hat to work there permanently, to be hired on because they were looking for permanent hires. So I do all of that, jump through all the hoops, do the my resume, basically my also is talking about my work history, and I did another part of my resume which showed what I was about, basically bragging about myself, basically what I did, what I was about, how could I be an asset to the job. So that was cool. They finally called me in for an interview with this new plant manager and the supervisor, which was actually a lead. I didn't even know that he was really not the supervisor. And they called me in for the interview. So we go through the interview process, and I'm listening to the questions that were asked, and I'm listening to the whole process, and I'm like, this dude has never given an interview ever in his life. He has no clue as to what questions to ask. He has no idea of what the hell he's doing. I already had a problem with him anyway because I can feel it. So as the interview process is going along, I was talking about how in my area, because I was the first person to start the line off basically as far as getting the boxes together and making sure my area was stocked. And what I would do is I would take notes of things that was low so I can replenish. So as I'm telling this person this, they say, well, do you always have to write down everything? And I'm thinking, okay, here we go. Because that's why my area is well stocked. And you have the other workers, their area is always low or they don't know what they need in their area. You keep in detailed, accurate, you're writing everything down. So you're detailing, you're making sure This is what I need. This is what I need to fill up. This is going down. All of that. So I'm already getting a narcissist vibe. I already know he's a narcissist because he's thinking that he is it and that's it. So then I noticed as the interview was going on, I feel like I'm being interrogated. Not on trying to find out what my strengths are, but this person is trying to pull out all of the weak points. He's trying to pull all of them out. For example, there was a worker there, complete asshole. He wanted to work in my area. I wasn't going to switch areas with him because he was unfamiliar. So I wasn't going to switch. So he stomped off and called me a dick. Well, I turned around and went in the other direction and left. Well, they brought that up in my interview and said you got into an argument. Well, I thought an argument was a back and forth situation. I didn't know that you can get in an argument with somebody by them calling you out of your name and you leaving. I ain't understand that. That's new to me. And that's the thing. I thought about it. I said, okay, so now we're going to go and see, and I'm going to pull the race card real quick. Because I said, oh, okay, I figure now, you figure because I'm black that I'm going to be combative. Or I'm going to want to fight somebody. Or I'm going to get into arguments. I don't play that. The person said what they said and I walked off. And that was for their health, not for mine. Because I wasn't going to deal with it. And plus, I wasn't raised to be carrying on like that. So that wasn't enough. So then, this person, this plant manager, decides that they're going to start drawing all on my paperwork, all on the resume. Just drawing circles and dots and looking at me, watching me. And I'm tripping. I'm like, really? You were really going to basically disrespect yourself and bring yourself to the level of a 5-year-old with ADHD that can't control themselves, grown ass man. You're going to drop down to that level to try to get a rise out of me. I was thoroughly pissed. So I was upset and I kind of teared up because I'm thinking, I felt sorry for that person. I'm like, why would you reduce yourself? You reduced yourself to acting like a child to get a response or a rise out of me because you couldn't deal with a person like me coming in here with some sense trying to add to the company. That baffled me. So needless to say, I ended up contemplating. I kept thinking and I said, you know, if you stay here, there's seriously going to be a problem if you stay. So I started putting in applications at different temporary services. Then they called me into the office. Called me and the other temp as one other temp. We were the only 2 temps. This other temp had worked there for years as well. And they said, the temporary service that we're using, we're no longer going to use that temporary service. We're going to switch you guys over to this other temporary service. And I'm thinking, wow. So I'm thinking, you guys really don't have any intention on hiring me. And I thought about it. And I said, you know how degrading that would be if you accepted that offer after that interview. Do you know how bad that would be on you as a person? You would basically be disrespecting yourself. So I ended up calling the temporary service that they had let go, and I called them And they said, we have a job for you. And I said, this is me trying to do the right thing. I said, can I give 2 weeks notice? They said, no, we're going to need you in a few days. I said, oh, okay. So what I did was, thought about it, told the job, I said, look, got to take out a couple of days. So in the meantime, this was on I want to say it might have been on a Friday. So what I did was I made all of the boxes. I just started making boxes, just until it was no more boxes on the pallet to be made. One of the other guys in the building, he came back. He was like, I thought it was a machine back here. I said, no, it's just me. He was like, yeah, well, get that overtime. I said, oh, I ain't getting paid for this. I stayed till like 7:30. I got off at 5, and I stayed till 7:30. And I started thinking, I said, I was at peace. And I said, when the rest of these people come back to work, you're not going to have peace. It's going to be the same thing over again. So I ended up leaving, went to the other job, worked there for a couple of days, and I decided, oh no, I'm not coming back. Not coming back to the old place. Dumped their crap off at the temporary service, the new temporary service that they had hired. I dumped all their shit. Then the phone calls started coming. Phone people. I'm like, what are you calling me for? One of the main people, and this person was a narcissist too. One of the main people that was starting shit and keeping shit and had a whole bunch of shit going on in their life. And love white folk. Couldn't stand black folk. But they were black. But they would put a white person over a black person. I don't have a problem with white people. But when you put another race over your own and just degrade your own race, that's the thing where I have a problem with. I have a problem with that. But anyway, so this person text, called, then they sent the last text they sent said, we heard you quit. I said, yeah. And that was it. I'm like, I have nothing else to say about the situation. And I already knew in their mind, they probably thought, he's making all these boxes and doing all this stuff, thinking that they're going to hire him. No, that wasn't it at all. That was my passive aggressive ass. Because I could be passive aggressive. And that was just me being passive aggressive. Made all of them boxes up because I knew I was dipping. I knew I wasn't coming back. And I knew once they got back in there, that area that needed to be filled, because I was a picker, that area is going to be empty and you're going to run out of some damn boxes. Then what you going to do? Because the person who I got into it with, whose ass she was kissing, they ain't going to do shit for you. I already knew that. They're not going to do shit for you. So, I got a real good kiki out of that because I already knew I had their asses over a barrel. So, all that said and done, I get me a new job. Love my job. Do you know they had the nerve to send me an email for me to apply again? I'm thinking, no. You didn't have respect for me the first go around. You think I'm going to be a fool? I would have been a fool to stay anyway if I had went on and waited until they got good and ready. No, I wasn't finna do that. I wasn't going to, and I can't deal with, especially working under a narcissist, I'm not finna do that. Because this person had already had in their mind, it seems like when you tell them the answer is A, whatever's going on in your life, whatever that situation I was telling him about. He didn't hear it. He didn't want to hear it. He already has his mind made up. He already wants to be on some other stuff and gonna try to input. That's the funny thing. I can't stand when you tell these people something and they input something because they want to grab onto that negative. They want to grab onto that whatever that is that'll make they feel they soul up. They want to grab onto that. It's like, but it's not true. You have to have a whole argument with me, like back and forth. Like that's an argument. You have to just speak some stuff that's the truth. And you should have seen how this person was looking at me. That evil look kept biting their lip and like you know, like they really, like they wanted to kick my ass. Like they couldn't stay. This all during the interview, trying to intimidate, trying to incite, trying to aggravate, they did all of that. But we gonna see how you fared in that job. Cause I know you were winging it the whole damn time and didn't know shit. You didn't know what the fuck you was doing. So we gonna see how that went down. I ain't gonna wait for it though. I'll see you guys on the next video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. And comment down below. Peace.